Hello and welcome to another episode of YoyoTalk. This time around, my special guest is Jacob Gross, the mastermind behind G Squared Yoyo, also called Jake. Hello, Jake.
Hey, Andres.
All right. Um, what I want to talk to you about, of course, is all the yo-yos that have come out in the years. I counted 6 models so far, basically, and then some Al7 versions and stuff like that. But before we go into that, how did G Squared get started?
Um, what was it? Back in 2011, 2012, might have been the end of the year in 2011, I think. Most people know, if you've been around that long, that myself and Brett created the company. And when we started it out, we just, it's everybody's quest as a collector to find that perfect yo-yo, and it's something that you never can achieve. And so we wanted to just make our own yo-yos that we were looking for. And, every time you pick something up, you're thinking, well, maybe if they would have just tweaked this a little bit, I would like it a little more. And so we decided we wanted to make our own yo-yos. And hey, even after we made our own yo-yos, we would still think, hey, maybe if I would have just tweaked this a little bit. So even when you're making them, it's still hard to create that perfect yo-yo, just because I don't know. It's something you use every day. So something a little bit different after a month or two of playing with something. It's nice to be able to rotate through and have different feeling yo-yos. But yeah, the reason we started G Squared was to create what we thought was going to be perfect for us. Um, and then it just led down the road, and I've just kept it going because it's something that I really enjoy doing. Um,
All right, cool.
it's a lot
So
of
that was in 2012. Actually, came out first with the Albatross and quite organic shaped yo-yo that got some big positive reviews. And in 2012 also was followed up by the Nessie, which is a little bit different because it's an H-shaped yo-yo.
hmm
And those were the 2 models. How did you come up with those designs?
The Albatross, both of us really just liked organic yo-yos. We liked comfort. We liked the float. Neither of us were big competition focused players. And even at that point, uh, some of you might know Jesse, um, that was on our team. He really, he really liked the Albatross for competition even. So even if a yo-yo is not focused on being a competition yo-yo, it might still end up turning out that way. But the Albatross just came from yo-yos that we had previously liked. So we knew we wanted something organic, something round, something comfortable, and we kind of went from there. Um, so I'm sure you can tell different yo-yos that were inspired that yo-yo. Like the 54 was one of our favorites. I know that was Brett's favorite for a long time from One Drop. The Leo from I Love Yo-Yo, you can see in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some more organic yo-yos. The Pyro. Um, but
And
that's
then
what led to the Albatross.
right. And then the Nessie is an H-shaped.
The Nessie, we wanted something different than something to contrast with that. So we're playing with the Albatross for, I don't know, half a year straight. So hey, let's get something that's a big contrast to it, so we can pick something else up. And at that time, Brett was really big into 3A, so we really wanted to pack some rim weight on there just so that he had a little bit more spin time for the 3A stuff. And then the spike was just kind of an aesthetic thing. Um, I don't know. You can tell you can, if you're careful, you can use it for matador tricks and pole start and whatnot. But it's a little bit smaller than it is. I don't know. It's not extremely useful like you might use on like a punchline or um, a friend that lives by me. If you've ever seen his crazy yo-yo, the Timberwolf.
All right.
So those have some huge spikes. So the Nessie was just an aesthetic thing mostly for those spikes.
Okay. Well, by the end of 2012, you picked up manufacturers or newcomer manufacturer award of the year 2012 from YoyoSkills.com. How did that make you feel?
That I think it made me feel better than it probably should have. It was we put so much work into the company, and it was neither of our jobs. It was a hobby for both of us. So you're putting hours and hours into something, and you're not really getting a return that you would say that you would get from a job. But then just all the support we got, all the fans, all the friends that we gained, it was really pleasing for them to come through like that for us, and show that support and show that they really did appreciate and like what we were doing.
Yeah. Also, you actually got to work with some other companies as well, Monkey Finger being one of them. The shirt I'm wearing right now is the first shirt I actually ever got from G Squared, which was the limited run Nessie. That was a collaboration with Monkey Finger, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Only a few got produced, so that was really cool. They sold out in like minutes or something. So I was really excited when I got a chance to pick one up.
Yeah, Ray is a lot of fun. Ray's one of my friends, and I appreciate everything that he does with me. I mean, his anodizing is really, really great, and I love to be able to throw creative ideas off of him, and then he can kind of put them together. He understands what I want. So that Nessie was a lot of fun to work on, and then more of the projects down the road were even a little more involved. And then, of course, the shirt, Turtle Prince or Mike Sprague, he does a great job for us. He does all my decals, all of my pins. So he was able to do the faded shirt to match the faded yo-yo, which we really liked.
Yeah, really cool project.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that kind of happened towards the end of 2012 and beginning of 2013 is Brett leaving G Squared. And recently I've seen a post on Facebook that showed you together at a contest or something. So you guys still in contact?
Every once in a while. I think that's the last time I saw him was at Ohio State's. That's coming up this year, so I'll probably see him up there again. He does a lot of guitar work now. Okay. If you've seen him on Instagram.
The name G Squared was coming, of course, from Gross and Grimes. Mm-hmm. Now with one G dropping, you came up with a clever, really good replacement, so to speak, namely your wife, right?
Yes. So she's the second G right now, and she doesn't yo-yo or anything. She does a lot of help. The standard stuff. She'll help. All those decals on those packages. Somebody's got to help me stick those on, or else it'd take me forever. And she does a lot of help with that and shipping, and she comes up with a lot of cool contests that we do, and she works on the colorways with me. So even though she doesn't yo-yo, she's still pretty good help for the company.
Awesome. All right, and on we are to into 2013. They brought us the Triton and the Quake. Now with Brett gone, which one is it? Triton already completely your own design, or is it something that you still work together?
Yeah, the Triton was something that I completely designed myself. The design process started while Brett was still there, but at that point I was designing the Triton as almost a signature yo-yo, just something that instead of us combining our ideas on a yo-yo, that was something that I was designing on my own, and he was actually working on a different yo-yo that he was designing on his own. So the Triton was the first yo-yo that was just designed by me.
Okay. Once again, an organic shape with those, what do you call that? The in the middle in the cup, these.
They're kind of like
engravings. Oh no.
The project grooves.
Grooves, right.
Yeah.
For grindability, I suppose.
Yep, that was something I worked on with David from One Drop. I wanted something like the project grooves. That was one of my first yo-yos, but I wanted them a little bit deeper, so it's hard to compare them. But it's just slightly deeper than the project, and he knew that he was fine with us using that idea because we've mentioned it as it was. That's what it is. It came directly from the project.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely helps the grindability, and it just kind of sorry, I got a bee buzzing around me. Uh, I don't know. It's just something. It feels nice in the hand. Something a little bit different to throw it off from the Albatross a little bit, since they were both such organic shapes.
All right. And the Quake, of course, being a mid-sized, more smaller yo-yo, also V-shaped this time.
Hmm.
Was there any particular reason why you wanted to go for mid-size?
Everything that we had created so far up to that point was oversized, full size. Um, we didn't want to completely go to undersized. That's a really small market in the yo-yo industry right now. If you take a look around, there's like, I don't know, 2011, 12. There was maybe even back to 2010, probably closer to that range. Everything was 50 millimeters and undersized, and that was everybody loved it. And then everything bounced up to full size and oversized at 54, 56. And we just wanted something a little bit smaller and quicker. So we wanted to venture into the mid-size, not completely going down there to the undersized.
All right. Okay, cool. And that was the end of 2013,
Mm-hmm.
2014. You actually did something that a lot of companies do sometimes. Actually, revisit an older design, just increase one detail, which is the size. So you actually took the Quake, made it a little bit bigger, and called it the Aftershock.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What? How do these two compare?
Um, yeah, that was the original idea. It was actually going to be a set of three. Maybe I'll visit the third one eventually, but we decided to hold off on that. The third one was going to be the Tremor, and that was actually going to be an undersized. But
Hmm.
between the Quake and the Aftershock, um, we just you uh, I don't know how to put it into words right here, but I mean it's nice to have that comparable shape and then the size difference, so you can just see the difference that the size makes. And the Quake was a really solid throw, really quick, and I wanted something a little bit more stable and a little bit floaty's not a good word to use, but it's not as heavy on the string, the Aftershock, and of course bigger. Um, so it's got a little bit longer spin time, but the stability was increased on the Aftershock just because of the size change. And it was fun to build off of a previous yo-yo and into the yo-yo following it, especially when you're setting it up with the branding of the names. So Quake to Aftershock. Um, Ideally, we could have gone with the Aftershock first and called that one the Quake, because the Aftershock is usually smaller than the Quake. But just at the time, there was no mid-sized yo-yos, so we wanted to release the Quake first, and get that mid-sized yo-yo out there, and then bounce back out with the oversized.
Okay, awesome. Okay, before I go to the second release of 2014, I got out a bunch of other yo-yos here, um, all the same size. No, not all the same. We've seen the model itself already, but this time they're all AL7 versions of it. So explain what AL7 series is.
Um, AL7 is just all it is switching the aluminum type from 6061 to 7075, and that is just a harder aluminum. So the anodizing will come out slightly a different color. It has a different shine to it than 6061. The blasting won't be as aggressive. Um, but the biggest deal with the 7075 is kind of getting a yo-yo that you like the way it plays, but you want to see how it is with a couple grams difference. Um, so everything stays the same as far as weight distribution, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to pick up the original and then grab the 7075. Um, I know a lot of people actually prefer the 7075 just for performance reasons. They like the harder metal, and if they're using a glove, the grindability doesn't matter that as much to them. That's a nice looking cozy you have there.
Of course. Completely branded. Cool. The last release of 2014 was the collab. I'm grabbing it here. There's no AL7 version of that, is there?
No.
Okay. Because probably there's a story behind this yo-yo that says it was done in collaboration, hence the name, with the Monkey Finger.
Yes.
So not only did you work with them on colorways, but this time the whole design itself. What yo-yos went into that?
When we were discussing a collaboration, originally we had thought maybe we'll design something completely new, but then we didn't even have a starting point. And a collaboration with another company is a lot of work. You both have different ideas on what you want to do, and it ended up being easier for us to combine two yo-yos, and that way we at least had a starting point and we could narrow down, hey, what do you want, what do we want, narrows down the selection. And so we went with the Triton, as you can see a lot in the design, as well as the Apex from Monkey Finger.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got the Triton here. I don't have an Apex here, but people that know Monkey Finger design will probably recognize the more sharp edges that probably come from the Apex.
And the catch zone, well, it has Triton grooves.
Right.
That's a little bit more Apex shaped. The cup zone is a little bit of the Triton. You can see the spike in it, and the step has a little bit of the Apex as well.
Right. Okay, so that already brings us to 2015, and you're gonna marvel us this year with a new release called the Marvel. What is that all about?
The Marvel is something that we've been working on for almost a year. I've never worked this long on a specific yo-yo. It's just we were at the point where you can keep rolling out yo-yos that are slightly different, but we have a good lineup right now that kind of covered the ranges. The Triton, it's organic, feels nice, and the Aftershock is just a great competition throw, and a lot of people like that yo-yo. I didn't want to put something out just to put something out. That's why there's been such a long delay. I wanted to create something that it fits the name. Like, I didn't have it named, but it kind of expresses the idea that I wanted. I wanted it to capture that feeling for everybody when they first started yo-yoing, and you saw that first unresponsive freestyle, and it just kind of surprises you, and you're just kind of in awe, and you just sit there and marvel at it.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling that I wanted to express through this yo-yo. And while working on it, it took a long time to be able to decide everything that I wanted to put into it.
Okay.
But I mean, that's kind of the gist of where the name came from, and the idea of creating it, and something that it wasn't focused on one thing. We kind of wanted to incorporate everything into one yo-yo, and kind of create that just go-to yo-yo. Every time you leave the house, that's what you're going to put in your pocket. And we really feel like we achieved that with it, and then hopefully you guys find out soon.
I saw some reviews and stuff on highspeedyoyo.com, and Chris mentioned an undercut design, which I didn't quite understand, and of course there weren't clear pictures of that. Can you explain a little bit what that particular part of the yo-yo is really all about?
When we were designing it, one of the things currently that I guess not currently, it's kind of been a year or two now that people have been doing it, and it just was something that had just made me wow, like that's something awesome. Was the finger spins. So we had the yo-yo mostly designed, and then we decided we wanted to incorporate finger spins a little bit better. And one of the issues with yo-yos that incorporate finger spins is they have too much center weight, because when you get that flat hub, instead of having the axle nub, you bring out the rest of the yo-yo and it's flat, so that, or flat or concave or alike, to allow for finger spins more easily. But then you get all that center weight that's built up, and it really hinders the overall playability of the yo-yo. So what we did was took a little bit of that undercut right outside of the response grooves to get some of that weight back out towards the rim to increase the overall playability.
Wow. Sounds intriguing. So I really suck at finger spin play style. So
I was going to say, it doesn't completely cater to finger spins. It's not going to be the perfect ideal yo-yo to learn on, but once you can finger spin and you can utilize that center hub on the Marvel, it's not gonna I don't know, it's not going to hinder you. It's definitely going to help. Like Mike Marshall on our team, he does a lot of finger spins in his routines, and he's really enjoying the Marvel just because it allows for him to use those tricks easier, or I guess more easily than the Aftershock, since it doesn't have to be on that slight tilt. It can be actually perfectly horizontal. But as far as learning directly on it, you might have a little bit of difficulty catching it in the cup, because we left that. There's a ring right around in the cup area on the outside of where it's concave. So it'll take you a little bit to catch it right in there. But then once you can do that, you'll be good to go.
Oh, cool. Where do you guys manufacture your yo-yos?
We use a few shops. The Marvel was manufactured outside of One Drop. I don't know if I've released that name, so I'm just going to keep that to myself on where that shop is.
Sure.
But One Drop does most of our stuff. They were really busy at the end of last year when we were ready to start prototyping the Marvel, so we went with the different shop. But Drop is our main job.
All right. You mentioned already your team, so tell us a little bit more about the G Squared team.
Okay. Let's see. I think we're at 5 members right now. The G Squared team are just a bunch of my friends, I guess you could almost say. They help me out in all different kinds of ways with the company. We've got Ryan Johnson, and he is just a great graphic design guy. I mean, hey, he's got great tricks too when he posts them. But he's doing if you follow him on Instagram, he's doing a black and white year, and he's just focusing on just black and white photos for a year. So he hasn't been posting any tricks lately. He might be creating another account to do that, but he's my design guy. So the Marvel logo, which we're really proud of, we put the most work into that logo. He designed that, and he's designed all of the previous logos, I believe, as well. All the new G Squared logos. Not the original G Squared logo. He wasn't around for that, but sure. Most everything else besides then. We've got Brandon Hodges, and he's just a cool dude. I don't know. I guess I'll go through what he's been working on. He's been doing crazy calisthenics. Like he's got to be the buffest dude in yo-yo. So he does some crazy calisthenic stuff. But he's just a really cool guy. A blast to hang out with when he comes out to my house for Ohio State's. Usually most of the team makes it out, and we just stick around my house for that. But I believe he's been working on a new trick video, so hopefully you guys will have that soon. Nathan Martzoff, he lives a couple hours from me, and he's a really cool guy. He's got a lot of cool ideas for branding. He does tutorials, and he does. You'll see tricks posted on his Instagram and Facebook. Jesse's got one of probably the biggest audience over by you, as far as just his skill content is just crazy, and his trick breakdowns. So Jesse's at school right now. That's what he's been working on mostly. he sent me a few file clips that might be edited and thrown up soon. I'm going to let him decide what he wants to do with those. And then our last and newest member is Mike Marshall. And he's been really great for the team just because of what he does at the competition scene. And last year he was able to take home victories at SCR, and I don't know if it was just a 5A division or if they have just like an X division and 1A. He was able to take the crown home for both of those last year.
Cool.
And so looking forward to seeing him, what he does at nationals this year, and hopefully some other state contests.
All right. Awesome. Coming back one more time and looking into the future of yo-yoing and models and everything. Of course, you haven't fully released the Marvel yet. Prototypes have gone up for sale, but a full run release is yet to come. Nevertheless, I see a pattern here that for each and every year you came up with 2 yo-yos.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be another one in 2015?
There's definitely going to be another one in 2015. I've got protos of it. I haven't done much with it yet just because I've been doing so much with the Marvel, and I'm just enjoying the Marvel right now. But we will have another model in 2015, maybe later in the fall. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have something else. It's a lot different than anything we've put out before. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Looking forward to that. So that wraps up my little interview with Jake Gross. Thank you very much again for taking the time and talking a little bit, taking us through the years of G Squared. You heard the man. There's still more and more yo-yos coming out. Awesome yo-yos. Check out their websites. Check out the Instagram, Facebook page, YouTube channel, everything. The man is out there and doing a lot for the community, which is actually my favorite part, to be honest, about G Squared, because they do a lot for the community, the whole team, and Jake especially. Again, thank you very much for the interview, and as it is good tradition here on YoyoTalk, my guest will have the final and last word.
I just want to say thank you for having me on, and thanks to all our fans out there, and like you mentioned on community, that is what drives me to continue doing G Squared. It's just a hobby and a passion of mine, and without everybody out there supporting us and driving us to create new items and keeping us entertained, I don't know how long we would have wanted to continue to doing this, but it's awesome, and that's what keeps pushing me, and I appreciate that. And hopefully you'll have me back on soon.